Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Hatha practice. As far as props for today, I'd suggest having a couple hard blocks nearby and then maybe a soft block to sit off of or for to pad the knees, anything like that. And then there'll be a pose or two where a strap might be handy as well. We'll get started in a tall seat today, so if you want to sit up off of one of your props, then go for it. And take your time to find any comfortable symmetrical shape for the body. If for any reason sitting upright isn't working for you today, then feel free to lie down or you can find child's pose, something like that. And just take a moment to settle whatever's touching the floor into the floor. And take a moment to grow the spine, soften the shoulders. Notice what the head, the neck are doing. See if you can find your own neutral shape there. If it feels okay to close down the eyes, go for it. The hands can rest wherever they feel the most comfortable. Once you do find your stillness, then start to notice the breath here. And without changing it necessarily, just follow your breath in and out of the body. As you feel ready to invite the breath to start to deepen here. Inviting slightly fuller inhales and slightly deeper exhales. And with each inhale, noticing that space across the chest getting a little broader. Maybe the side ribs getting a little wider apart. Maybe the upper back puffing up a little bit. With each exhale, finding that settling, that softening. Be here with your breath for as long as it serves you. You might also check in to see what would bring you the most benefit from your practice today. You're always welcome to keep things quiet, to add pauses and rest whenever you need. And you can also build up and add on, so make the practice whatever you need it to be. If you need a little more time in stillness, stay here. Otherwise, as you feel ready, you might flutter the eyes open. Maybe give the hands, the wrists a little movement, a few circles in each direction. It might feel nice to release the legs here as well. Maybe give the feet a little swish side to side. And we'll come back to easy pose. This time cross the legs the opposite way just to keep things even in the body. And then from here, bring one hand down to the side, maybe right hand to the floor, left arm up towards the ceiling. Take a deep inhale, lengthen that whole left side. As you exhale, arc over towards the right. Left arm can stay extending. You can also bend the elbow and catch the head if that works better for you. See where the head wants to be tilted, maybe gaze towards the floor, up towards the ceiling. So do whatever feels best here and breathe into that stretch, anchoring the left hip to the floor, reaching all the way up. And the next time you inhale, come all the way back up. And with your exhale, release the left hand down. We'll switch sides, so with an inhale, lengthen the whole right side. As you exhale, arc over towards the left. You might mirror what you did on the first side exactly, but if this side needs something a little different, then go for it. Keep that right hip heavy, keep the right arm light and lengthen there. With a strong belly, inhale breath, come all the way up, and release the right hand down. Give the shoulders a shrug and soften, maybe roll them a couple of times. And whenever you feel ready to, we'll roll over the knees and come and find a tabletop position. And from your tabletop here, take the knees a little bit wider apart. You can keep your soft block nearby for this. And send the hips towards the heels. Don't lower quite to child's pose yet. And from here, we'll set up for a twist to thread the needle. So you can start to take the left arm underneath the right and walk it over as far as you can, lowering that left shoulder to the floor. The head might need a little support here, so any of your props you can use to add some padding. And then maybe the right palm to the left, you can anchor it to the floor a little bit more. You might even deepen the stretch that you're feeling through the spine or through the shoulder. And make sure it's a pain-free expression. And sometimes adding a little height between hips and heels can feel comforting here as well. Find your breath. Awesome. If the right hand isn't on the floor, then bring it back first and gently brace to release yourself to center. And we'll set straight up for the second side. So brace with the left hand, slide the right arm underneath, and eventually settling the right shoulder, the right side of the head, maybe to the prop or to the floor. Left hand can stay or bring left palm to right. And breathe into your stretch. Left hand returns to the floor and gently unravel yourself to center. You can slide your prop out of the way and then bring the hands towards the top of the mat. And we'll tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and press the hips up and back to come and find downward facing dog. It'll probably feel nice here to pedal out the heels a little bit, stretch out that back line of the legs. You can pulse side to side or front and back, and take a few breaths in any movement you need here.
and eventually we'll come and find stillness. So you might keep a gentle or generous bend to the knees here, so much that the low back feels comfortable, the spine feels heavy, and give the head a nod, yes and no, to release. The hands are pressing the floor away. Finger pads might grip into the floor to help to stabilize and support the wrists. Notice your breathing here, finding space with each inhale, and grounding with each exhale. And when you feel ready to, with an inhale breath, bend the knees deeply and look forward. And then as you exhale, walk the feet towards the hands and come and find your forward fold. And find a generous bend to the knees for this first fold. And maybe the belly, the chest resting on the thighs. And maybe a gentle sway for the spine side to side, or you can find stillness right away. And take a few breaths here. And we'll take a few breaths to get there. Eventually, we'll meet up in standing. So if you'd rather come up with a flat back, then go for it. If it feels okay to round, then bend the knees a little bit deeper. You can start to walk the hands up the legs as you slowly round your way all the way up to stand, and perhaps pausing along the way if that's what your body needs. And once you arrive, if you feel a little lightheaded, then reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Otherwise, come and find your mountain pose. So, whatever distance between the feet feels the most stable for you, whatever angle with the feet is the most natural for you. Find that space for the chest, that softness for the shoulders, maybe a slight tuck of the chin in towards the throat. If it feels okay to close down the eyes, go for it. And take a moment to notice the soles of the feet here. Notice where your weight is. Is it more heels or toes? You might even rock back and forth a little bit, see if you can find that middle space. Into stillness for a little while longer. Otherwise, as you feel ready, wiggle the fingers and the toes, flutter open the eyes if they're closed. From here, we'll interlace the fingers, but leave the index fingers pointing, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. If this doesn't work for the shoulders, then feel free to take a strap between the hands here. Really press the feet to the floor, lengthen through both sides of the body. Take a deep inhale. With the belly toned, lean over towards the left. And then inhale to center and over towards the right. Two more each side, in and out. In and out. One more each. Inhale, reach, and bring the hands to prayer. You might take the feet a little bit closer together, maybe the feet even come to touch. And take a deep inhale, lengthen, puff up, and then bend the knees and we'll come and find chair pose. Take just a moment to check in here. If it feels like a deep back bend, see if you can find a slight hug of the pubic bone towards the belly button to support the spine.
And we'll prepare to twist here. So deep inhale. As you exhale, twist over towards the left, and you could stay high here or connect the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Really press the knee into the elbow to stabilize. Notice one of your feet might feel lighter than the other, so press them down evenly. Press the palms together and really breathe that space across the chest. All right, stay here for last inhale and last exhale. Inhale, unravel back to your chair. And now exhale, hinge forward over the legs, and forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. And exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat, and we'll lower the left knee down to the floor. You can pad the back knee if it feels a little sensitive. Otherwise, when you're ready, press down through whatever's touching the floor. With an inhale, come on up, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, hands to the prayer. Setting up a twist here. Inhale, breath, puff up. Exhale, twist towards the right. And again, you can stay high here, maybe even reach the arms, or connect the left elbow outside of the right knee. Use that connection to create stability. Press the palms, open the chest. Head can turn wherever feels the most comfortable. Find your breath. Last full inhale. And exhale. Inhale, unravel to center. With your exhale, step forward to your forward fold. Let's see what feels good here. You can find a little movement. Whenever you're ready for stillness, go for it. If you'd rather be in a halfway lift shape, you can use your props like this and stay up more upright. If you'd like to add a bind, then maybe hands find opposite elbows. Notice the feet. Notice where your weight is. Is it more heels or toes? See if you can keep the two balanced. If you have a bind, you can release it. Maybe bending the knees a little deeper, either with a flat back or roundings. Start to make your way up to stand. No rush to arrive. And whenever you do, we'll meet in our mountain pose. And check in with your breath here. And take that scan of the body just to notice what everything feels like. Notice the differences between the right and the left side. Only when you feel ready to, you can flutter open the eyes, wiggle the fingers and the toes. Interlace the fingers, keeping index fingers pointed. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And take a deep inhale, lengthen both sides. Exhale over towards the right. And then inhale, center. Other side. 2 more each, nice and slow. inhale breath, come on up, and hands to prayer. Maybe feet a little bit closer together. Deep inhale, lengthen, and bend the knees, chair pose. And take a moment to check in. Again, find that balance between heels and toes. Check in with the low back, with the core. A deep inhale here, and twist towards the right. Stay high or left elbow to the outside of the right knee and press the knee back into the elbow. Notice that length from the tailbone to the crown of the head and keep breathing there. Soften anything you don't need here. One last inhale here. One last exhale. Now inhale, unravel the chair. And with your exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen. And step the right foot to the back of the mat. We'll lower the right knee down to the floor, and you can pat it if you need. When you're ready, you press down with an inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and then hands to prayer at the heart. If you need to adjust anything with your stance, then go for it. Otherwise, when you're ready to twist, take a deep inhale. With your exhale, twist left. And again, you can stay high or connect elbow to knee. Create that resistance with the knee for stability. Press the palms, find that space for the chest. Keep breathing that length from the tailbone to the crown. And stay for an inhale and an exhale. Inhale, breath, unravel to center. And this time we'll plant the palms and step to downward facing dog. And give the body any movement that you need here, maybe a little sway or rock. We'll set up for a flow. You're always welcome to skip this. You could also come to child's pose if that's what you need. Otherwise, with an inhale breath, shift forward to plank pose. And with an exhale, lower down to the belly. Untuck the toes, cobra pose as you inhale, lift the heart. And soften down. Now tabletop with your inhale. And downward facing dog with your exhale. And settling in your down dog for a few breaths. Keep the hands pressing the floor away. Keep the head nice and heavy. When you feel ready to move on from here, from your down dog, with an inhale, lift the right leg up behind you. And with your exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Hop the back foot close enough that you can bring that whole foot to the floor. Left toes can be pointing mostly towards the front. And then really ground down through the feet. With an inhale breath, come on up. You can extend that front leg for a little bit if you need. And take a moment to square the pelvis here, so both hip points pointing forward. And we're setting for warrior one. So if the shape doesn't feel good for you, then you can play with adjusting that back foot to point a little bit more towards the side. Otherwise, keeping it pointing forward will give you a better calf stretch. When you're ready, you can bend into that front knee. And again, you can adjust as you go. Check in with the low back. And again, if it feels like a back bend, a slight hug from the pubic bone towards the belly button. And from here, hands can come to prayer. Or if you're ready, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Find just a little softness for the shoulders. For the last couple breaths, choose stillness or take a deep inhale and reach, and then make fists and cactus the arms. Exhale. Inhale, reach, lengthen,
And exhale, cactus. 2 more. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. And preparing for pyramid with an inhale, extend the front leg towards straight. And then pause just for a moment. If you need to shorten the base a little bit, go for it. If you need to find your props, you can have them near the top of the mat. And when you're ready, take a deep inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, start to hinge your way forward. Hands can come to blocks or fingertips to floor. You're welcome to pause in a halfway lift shape if this feels better for you. Otherwise, start to hinge and fold over that front leg. Notice your stretch here. If it feels like too much, you're welcome to pulse in and out with a breath, being wherever you need to be for the next 5 or so breaths. All right, if you're folded, come to your halfway lift. We'll set up for a twist here. If you need to adjust the height of your prop in the left hand, then go for it. Maybe a little more height will be useful here. Bring the right thumb to the right hip crease. And then manually press that hip back, lengthen that whole right side of the body, and take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, start to turn the chest open towards the right. Notice what happens with the low back, so you might bring your hand there, and then just see if it's slanted severely one direction or the other. See if you can press the feet a little differently to make that just a little more even. The right hand can stay or reach towards the ceiling. Last few breaths here. All right, deep inhale. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Now press down through the right foot. With an inhale, we'll come on up to balance on the right foot. You can bring your left knee in towards the chest. So check in here. We're going to twist towards the left. So first option is to bring the peace fingers around the big toe. And if you have space, you can extend the front leg. If that doesn't work for you, but you want to have the leg extended, then the option to use the strap. And I'll also show an option with a knee bent. So if you're taking the strap, then you can take both ends into the right hand. Just make sure it feels secure wherever it is. Really press that foot away. Left hand to the left hip. Inhale, breath to lengthen. And then exhale, twist towards the left. Notice where the head is relative to the pelvis, relative to the right foot. Can you keep them roughly stacked? Left arm can reach back. Make sure you're breathing here. If you'd like to stay for a few more breaths, then go for it. Otherwise, when you're ready with an inhale, unravel to center. Release the left foot down. Give the right leg a good shake out, the left, maybe the arms, the head. If you need to make a little noise, like blah, blah, blah. And then when you're ready, come and find your mountain shape. Maybe close down the eyes, find your breath, and settle in. Notice the breath here. And check in with the body, check in with your headspace. Only when you feel ready to move again, take your inhale breath, circle the arms up towards the ceiling. And your exhale breath, hinge forward, forward fold. A halfway lift to lengthen. Plant the palms and step to plank pose. Stay here for an inhale, lengthen.
and lower all the way down. Untuck, cobra pose as you inhale, and soften with your exhale. And tabletop, and downward facing dog. And from your down dog, with an inhale, lift the left leg up behind you. And then with your exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. Hop the back foot just close enough that you can bring the heel down. And then take a moment, press the feet to the floor. With an inhale, you can come on up. And then you might extend that front leg straight away. Notice the hips, see if you can keep the pelvis pointing forward. If you find yourself in too long a stance, too wide, too short, anything at all, take a moment to play around. When you're ready, you can bend that front knee. Warrior one, so take a moment to engage the core a little bit. When you're ready, you can reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Find some softness here. And the last few breaths, adding the cactus arms. Inhale, and make fists, exhale. And 3 more. Inhale, breath, reach. And hands to prayer. Extend the front leg towards straight and just pause for a moment. If you need to shorten, widen, bring your blocks, anything at all, go for it. And then inhale, breath, puff up. As you exhale, start to hinge your way forward. Maybe pausing in the halfway lift, maybe pulsing up and down a little bit. You're always welcome to bend the left knee a little bit here if it takes the pressure out. Find your breath, be where you need to be. If you're folded, come up to your halfway lift point, maybe adjusting the block for the right hand. Left thumb to the left hip crease. Take a deep inhale, lengthen tailbone to crown. As you exhale, turn the chest open towards the right, or the left rather. Left hand maybe to the low back just to adjust, see if it feels like a flat surface there. And maybe reaching the left arm towards the ceiling. Finding the distance between the hands and breathing into it. Last inhale here. Last exhale. Inhale, reach just a little higher. And with your exhale, bring the left hand down. And transfer the weight over to the left foot. With an inhale breath, we'll come on up and bring the right foot with us. And check in here, find your balance. All the same options, so either peace fingers from the left hand to the right foot. You can use your strap, or I'll show the bent knee option as well. If you're bringing your strap, then you can extend the leg, set it up, see if the hips feel level or if the right hip is higher. See if you can bring them to the same height. Both ends to the left hand this time, right thumb to the right hip crease. Take a moment to lengthen here. Inhale, and then exhale, twist towards the right. Maybe the right arm reaches back. And again, that stacking of the head over the hips, over the foot. Just feel where you are in space, nothing specific. Breathe here. Perhaps staying for another breath or two. Otherwise, inhale, breath, unravel. Release the right leg, the left. Whatever needs a little shake out, maybe flutter the lips like. When you're ready, come and find your stillness, come and find your mountain. When you're ready, flutter open the eyes, wiggle the fingers and the toes. If you have props on your mat, you can just move them off to the side. When you feel ready from here, with an inhale breath, circle the arms up. And with your exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen. And plant your palms, come to plank pose. Deep inhale and lower exhale. And cobra pose, inhale and lower exhale. Now pause here. If you have your soft block nearby, you could bring it for the forehead. And we'll set up a quad stretch here. So if the foot feels a little far away, you're welcome to use your strap to support it. Bending the right knee first, reaching that right hand back. You can take the knee to the side a little bit and then bring it back to center. Left arm can be wherever you need it to be. So maybe bringing it out in front if that feels good. And then start to hug the right heel in towards the bum. Feel whatever you feel through the top of that right leg, maybe into the hip flexor, the quad. If you're holding the right foot, then gently release it. And we'll switch the arms so you can bring the right arm underneath the forehead, reaching back for that left foot. When you're ready, start to hug the left heel towards the bum. Keep the left side of the pelvis heavy and breathe into whatever stretch you feel there. If you're holding the left foot, then gently release it down. And from here, we'll flip onto the back. So anywhere you like to get there, once you find yourself on your back, then look around and find one of your hard blocks. You can bring it between the thighs. Walk the feet in so that they're roughly underneath the knees. Find a shape that feels really strong here. Maybe elbows by the rib cage, maybe fingertips up towards the ceiling. And press the elbows, the shoulders, the feet into the floor. With an inhale breath, start to lift the pelvis up for your bridge pose. If you need to adjust the prop at all, or if you need to remove it, then go for it. And you can stay exactly here. If you like to extend the arms, if you like to, you might walk the shoulders a little closer together. Perhaps you have space to interlace the hands underneath the back. And keep pressing whatever is touching the floor into the floor. Keep the belly button, the pelvis lifting high. If when the chest came up, if it started to restrict your breath at all, then maybe the gaze up towards the ceiling, give your windpipe a little more room. Breathe here. Option to stay for maybe 5 more breaths. And whenever you feel ready to, you can come out exactly as you came in, pausing with the spine to the floor. If you bound the arms, then release them first. Widen the shoulders and then slowly sequence the spine down. You can move your prop off to the side, take the feet a little wider, and then rest the knees in together. Maybe one hand for the belly, one hand for the heart.
And when you feel ready to move again, look around for your heart blocks. You can use one or both, maybe one for each side of the mat. From walking the feet back to the hip distance, we'll lift the left leg up and wrap it around the right. You can do single loop, double loop if you have space to. You can also twist with a two-knee stack twist if that feels better. Scooting the hips over towards the left, start to lower the knees down towards the right. Maybe that left knee lands on your prop. Arms can stay where they are. You could find a T shape, cactus. Sometimes taking that left arm to the floor overhead can offer a nice stretch for the left side body. So make the twist whatever you need it to be here. If you like to take the gaze away from the knees, then go for it. If the head is turned over to one side, then bring the head back to center. And then slowly bring the knees up to center. We'll keep the left leg lifted, but scoot the hips to the midline. And now just slide the knee open enough so that the left ankle is roughly on top of the right knee or thigh. Setting for thread the needle, so this may feel like enough of a hip opener. You can reach for that right hamstring, maybe the right shin for a slightly deeper expression. You could also have that right leg extended if you want more of a hamstring stretch here. Whatever you're doing, a slight rock side to side might feel useful to help you settle in. Finding your stillness in your breath. As you feel ready to, gently releasing that right foot down, releasing the left down as well. It might feel nice to windshield wiper the knees a little bit in between sides, so you might take a moment to do that. And when you're ready to set up for the second side, you can come back to center and walk the feet roughly underneath the knees, wrap the right leg around the left once or twice, scoot the hips to the right, start to lower the knees down towards the left, and you can let the knees land on your support. Let's see what arm expression feels best for this side, generally mirroring whatever you did on the first. And if you added the twist further up, then maybe head to the left an inch and gaze down towards the right. If the head is turned, then bringing the head back to center first, slowly unraveling the legs up, and keeping the right leg crossed, but releasing it so that the right ankle stays roughly on top of the left thigh. Setting your thread of the needle, and if things feel a little different on this side, then please modify your shape. Reaching for the left hamstring, maybe extending the left leg, or reaching for that left shin. Maybe a little rocking to help you settle in, and then you can come and find your stillness as you're ready. And gently release the left foot to the floor and release the right. And again, maybe a gentle windshield wiper side to side. You could keep your windshield wiper going, or you can take a knee in each hand and maybe start to circle the knees, either same direction or opposite direction. If you're moving one way, then switch the other way. And when you're ready, setting for happy baby, so you can reach between the knees, catch hold of the feet, the ankles, or the shins, and bring the feet to point up towards the ceiling. Mindful of the low back. So if the low back has rounded up off the floor, then you might lower the feet until you feel the low back settle back down. A stillness here, or rock side to side. You can play with bending one leg deeper, extending the other towards straight, and then switching sides. And when you're ready, you're welcome to stay here for a few more breaths. Otherwise, bringing the soles of the feet together, lowering them down to the floor. We'll set up for butterfly shape for Shavasana. So you can choose a distance between the feet and the pelvis that feels good to you, maybe a little further for more of a diamond shape or closer in. If your blocks are nearby, you can use them to support the thighs just to feel that they're resting into something. The hands can be on the body somewhere beside you. You could take them overhead if you like. And take a moment if you need to add any layers or adjust lighting or clothing, anything like that. Make sure you're warm enough. Notice if there's any part of the body that still feels like it's holding or trying to support you in some way and maybe doesn't have to right now. Softening whatever you don't need. And check in with the jaw, maybe run the tongue along the teeth, between teeth and lips, top set and bottom set to release it. Notice the space around the eyes. Maybe you can soften that a little further as well. Release your breath back to its natural inhale and exhale. Let the body get heavy. Settle in. Gently deepen the breath to reawaken the body. Bring one hand to the belly, bring one hand to the heart space. And together, take a deep inhale through the nose. Deep sigh out the mouth. And again, even bigger. Last one, biggest one. Reach down, guide the knees back together. Let the legs extend long down the mat. Draw some circles with the wrists and with the ankles. A few rounds in one direction and then switch to the other. You might extend the arms up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. Reach the fingertips, reach the toes, maybe wiggle the shoulders and the hips. And then rolling down to one side, wherever you have the most room. And pause in a fetal position for a couple of breaths. With the support of the hands, as you feel ready, coming up to find any comfortable seated position. And you can use any of your props for support. Settling yourself in, lengthening the spine, softening the shrug muscles. Hands can land wherever they've landed. And take these last few moments of your practice to check in with the body, take that scan from the feet to the head, and just to notice. And bring your hands to connect at the heart. Gentle bow of the chin in towards the chest. Thank you for sharing your breath and your energy today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for your yoga practice today. If you have any questions, my name is Nicholas. Please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.